Good evening, family. It's your buddy, the 14th Prime, and tonight we got some interesting things to discuss as far as the age of the Primes line, and not necessarily the ones that we have now. Obviously, I'm very satisfied with what we've got coming. Now, what I wasn't satisfied with was that ridiculous Hasbro pulse that they had yesterday. Now I'm just gonna be honest. How you gonna show us pictures of a toy that we all have already? I mean, I understand concept art is wonderful. I'm an artist. I love drawing. I love painting stuff and murals and carrying on and all that kind of like everybody else. I appreciated the pictures. What I didn't appreciate was the fact that I knew in my heart and soul they was gonna tease something. Or show me the concept art for Liege Maximo, Nexus, something. Vector Prime, even though we know what he looks like. When's the next one? When's the next pulse? Anybody listening, anybody out there know when the next pulse? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of waiting. January is pretty much gone. It's almost 14th Primuary, and you know I'm acting a fool for the entire month of February, so I won't be checking on stuff like that often because I'll be too busy singing happy birthday to myself for the entire 28 days. And pretending that there's a 29th. With that being said, here's the thing. I got up this morning. If you saw today's short was D16. And why? Because when I woke up today, and it was a rather chill day, took my son to his little class at the church. And then when I got home, I decided I wanted to watch Transformers 1. Why? Because it's an awesome movie. And two, you can't see it that well because the light is hitting it, but I took the poster down, put up just everybody's faces with the logo, and they're all right here now. And I love that. I love that they have a section in the, they have an apartment to themselves now. And then I put Prime up there with the movie poster. Anyway, I was watching Transformers 1 and I'm realizing, again, this is a masterpiece. It was. I remember the first time watching it and seeing when they were teasing it and they showed the race roster for the Icon 5000 and you saw all the names and it was like, oh, wow, all of these people are really in the movie, in which they were. They were. That was the most characters in a Transformers film, whether animated or live, almost to date. I don't know if it had everybody in the 86 movie died. So at least they all lived and they all got cogs. Like it was even a happy ending at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Like it was refreshing. It was fun. It was great. You got to see, even if they don't make a sequel, which I would love for them to, but even if they didn't, you still got some kind of closure because we know how the story ends. All of y'all die, basically. You know what I mean? For the most part, a lot of y'all got shot, but y'all are cute in this iteration of the movie. But the whole, Primes, the 13 Primes being in the movie, and then with Sentinel betraying them. Oh, spoiler alert! If you haven't seen the movie, the movie, or you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're probably watching the wrong channel. But welcome in, family. But let's get to it. So. Let me unscrew this so you can see a little bit better about what I'm about to ask you. I was looking at one of my favorite websites that has like new toys or whatever. And the only thing that they've been showing for the past couple days is Hot Rod Hound and the Dramatic Capture series. A little late, guys. That's how I feel. I mean, well, no. I'll put it this way. If you didn't get 3 reflectors, y'all crazy for that. Y'all should have sold them as a 3-pack as it was instead of leaving it up to people to be able to find 3. And then imagine how dumb you look to somebody. Not how dumb you look, but during that run, being at Walmart and then pulling up, walking up to the register with 3 of the same refractors and the person looking at you like, oh, this must be one for you, one for your grandchild, nope, all 3 are mine. You know what I mean? But anyway, if you missed out on them, because I did, I got 1 reflector, and I was like, I'm going third party. I got the Camera Brothers, and I love them little guys. They're scale, they're perfect, they're cute and precious, and the camera looks like a real camera, and the focus, that part holds guns and swords and shotguns all inside of it. So needless to say, I'll be passing on the dramatic capture series. Look at this. That says, and this is from TF5 2005, TFW 2005, and that little person in the bottom corner, that's Evan's Instagram, right? So somebody said, will we get 13 primes from the TF1 in the future? Probably not now because we're getting them now in the Age of the Primes line, but maybe in 3 to 5 years, are they on the to-do list? This man said, yeah, I think Studio Series will make the primes from TF1 in a few years after focusing on a few other characters first. First of all, now, when you say a few other characters first, because this is how you know when things are coming to fruition. Those two, the characters that he's talking about them focusing on is the next TF1 Orion that we saw that's coming out. And will we get a better D16 or one with wheels? I realized it doing my short, and I remember when I got him, I was sitting out back in our pergola and I was transforming it, go watch the short. That was whenever that came out. And I had actually went to Burger King and got all of the Age of the Primes toys from Burger King first, because you know how they released them. People still waiting on Arachnid. But, excuse me, I went to Burger King and I got the RC motorcycle, Alita's motorcycle version, because she just not too long ago came out. That y'all's timing is ridiculous. You wait till people almost forget about something or have no longer interest and then be like, oh, look what we've got. But that's our fault. And by ours, I mean people like me that are this old that are still buying toys from 40 years ago because we love it. So they figure, hey, look, we got 10 years before we even put out Pick Your Person. But my question to y'all is, if they were, and when this does happen, when they make the whole 13 primes again from the movie. Now, here's what I'm actually thinking. This is what I want y'all to let me know if y'all think the same thing that I'm thinking, that we think together while we thinking right now as we think. I think they'll do the same. It'll be the same exact toys, just in the colors that they were from the movie. Same exact toys. Recolored, that's it. Like with Amalgamous Prime, you can he literally has his TF1 mode built in. Can't say that for the rest of them. But for the most part, they resemble what they look like in the movie for the most part. Maybe they'll make Megatronus so that his head can come off and just sit somewhere. You know what I mean? Maybe that'll be different. Maybe they'll do a little extra retooling, take a little bit from here, give a little bit there. Or, now, the other thing with them. Because somebody, and this I thought about this too, because this was in a comment. I try to usually go through and like and love and comment and respond back to y'all as often as possible. Somebody was like, I know you want this supersized Unicron. Do you know how much it is? And you have that one right there, and that one's just perfect and fine. That's for you. But they were like, he said that they were gonna make another one. No, he didn't. Yeah, they said Unicron is coming. I looked into it and realized that HasLab was just in 2019 when it actually shipped, when people got it. 21, 2, 3, 4, 25, 6 years. It'll be another 6 years. Tomorrow ain't promised. Just saying. I'm not waiting on nothing. No, and no. If they did, then in there, I know the interview because I screen recorded it, and it's a video that I made back when that interview happened 7-8 months ago. Mark said, well, we could do Unicron in a number of ways. He comes in many different ways. And then we're supposed to get these Unicron soldiers this year, which sounds to me like some Voyagers or Deluxes. Even if they leaders, it's still not 27 inches. You know what I mean? It's still not able to get an upgrade kit for $30 that you can separate it and have one giant medicine ball and robot at the same time. Doesn't sound like that to me. I think they dropped the ball. Yeah, the Unicron ball medicine. I think they dropped the ball by having HasLab, the last HasLab not being PRIMES. It better be this year. Y'all are out of your minds if it's not. If this is the end of the age of the primes and all that stuff, I would hope that you would be like, okay, yeah. I mean, they asked him about PRIMES. He was like, well, I like the small one. I think that, I like him being the underdog is exactly what he said. So maybe a Titan, because that to me sounds like him saying, we're not making that no HasLab. We got plenty of other Japanese stuff and other things and headmasters that we want to do. We'll circle the block on that. We'll spin the block and come back and do PRIMES later. That's what that sounded like to me. You know what I mean? I just think that it's due. Because, again, like, you did Unicron in 2019, and there's still no PRIMES. Again, I could be, wrong in my speculation. I do, with my whole heart. I think they're going to try to surprise us, and it will be PRIMES. Because of the whole Age of the Primes, weapons combined, and it forms something for a PRIMES that's not, you know what I mean? I hope they're not that dumb to put out 13 primes this year that form a weapon for somebody that you put out 5 years later, or 3 years later, 2 years later even. I think that would be ridiculous. I mean, not that there's too many people that really care about making a weapon for PRIMES or collecting all 13. For the most part, like for me, I'm collecting the 13 because they're the 13. I could care less about the weapons. But because I have bought the Age of the Primes 13 and I have the weapons, I want to see what this combination thing is. I hope they don't do us like they did in 2009 with the Revenge of the Fallen movie. Also, like, that was like my third video I ever made. But no, that was the first video I ever made on YouTube, and shared it to cybertron.com, and they posted it. I had 3,000 views. You couldn't tell me I was not a superstar that day. 2009, they had the RC twins come out. All 3 motorcycles came out. It was in the concept and supposed to be in the movie that the 3 motorcycles combined. The toys already had the tooling for the combination. Hasbro never released the instructions on how to do it. And so I tried and I put it together myself. I figured out how to do it. I made a little video, emailed it to Ryan at cybertron.com. He posted it and I was like, I'm on the news. Yeah, bless my young heart. And now look, believe in yourself. So also, being that I'm doing like some retrospects, and like I'm just going down like to my very first videos, where I lived in an efficiency apartment that was the size of this room. And it was my bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, all of it was the size of this. And I did my very first stop motion on the floor. And I dropped it last night, and then I tried to do like a Unicron series and a Titans series or whatever. Bless my heart. I was really trying. And I look at nowadays, I'm still not that, it ain't that much better. But I'm just saying, go check those out if you want. If you want to see some vintage Prime, back when my channel was called Daddy's Toys Forever. Because I was like, these are going to be my toys forever. And then somebody was like, yo, that sounds weird. And so I changed the name a little bit later. But either way, now I'm the 14th Prime, and that's who I shall be. I will be creating an Instagram brand new, fresh, of just snippets and toys and pics and things. Because everybody's like, oh, I wish you had an Instagram. Oh, I wish you had an Instagram. I do, but it was under my old battle rap channel and like that, whatever. So let me know down in the comments, would you be down to buy the 13 primes again if they were in TF1 colors? Would you? Or would you just be like, I'm good. I was good with the first run. Because I'm good with the first run. Once y'all finish it, or can we get a sneak peek or something? Just saying. Anyway, let me know down in the comments, would you buy all 13 of them again? What do you say, 3 to 5 years from now? If they were in studio series, they're going to change the box and put the same toy in it with less paint. Or blockies. They might just do them all in blockies and call it a day. Because they can do that now. You know what I mean? And like I said, hopefully, they don't, do us, like I said, with the motorcycle girls and like just act like the whole weapons thing was never said when they know they said it. And then they'd be like, oh, well, Hasbro, the big guys told us to just scrap it because all 13 of them still don't make sense. And I know a lot of people are like, man, just wait for Nexus and wait for Liege Maximo and wait for Vector, and all three of them will come with something that will tie all of them together. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'll wait. It's your buddy, 14th Prime.